Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is 2026, and thus I am trying to uphold a promise that I made to myself, which is starting my own gaming channel, Zoning Protocol. So, a couple of reasons why I did this. I started playing City Skylines a while back and got really into it, and just thought it would be a lovely thing to share with everyone. So, here we go. Welcome to Zoning Protocol, and we're going to go into one of my cities that I've been working on for a couple of weeks. Actually, probably 1 week, but as you can see, we've got a few issues, be it traffic, and if you look right in on these, we've got some higher resource costs that we can probably sort out. So in terms of the DLCs, I've got what have I got? I've got the industry package. So of course I've got all the official DLCs that were released, the different townhouses and different region packs. But I've also got, if we look here, we've got some of the unique factories and I think it was called factories and product lines going. So, well, let's get right into it and hope you guys enjoy playing along with me. And let's go. So, when it comes to playing the game, I tend to just be a bit more freestyle with it. It's more about how to expand the city into interesting looking places and seeing what we can fix as we go along. At the moment, I'm seeing the usual problems that would pop up, being death scare, and there's usually one of two reasons that this happens. It's either you don't have enough cemeteries or you don't have enough it's all about the death care. Let's just put it that way. So as you can see, I do have enough cemeteries, but I don't have any crematoriums placed at the moment. So we're just going to put one of those down and see where that would work for us. We've got a lot of this empty space here, and I think that would be a great point to plop down a crematory. Put in a refrigerator. Here's garage, and why not additional incinerator. So what I was focusing on when I started this build is to get a more organized city. The growth has obviously been a lot more relaxed. I haven't tried to grow the city as massively as I can in the amount of time I have. So let's just see how that works for us. As you can see, I sort of tried to stick within the opening area, which was right around that time, that space, and then I just expanded bought a couple of expansion lots just to get my farming and my industry moving. What I'm actually trying to save up to get is an incinerator, is the incinerator under waste collection incineration plant, because that will give me a little less pollution, and it's just a bit smaller than a massive landfill that we're dealing with at the moment that is actually pretty full. The content creator packs actually give you some really cool options, and the custom assets, because I picked up this custom asset, which is a waste collection center, which I think is actually really interesting. It's what's keeping my landfill actually at bay, because without that I would be already drowning in rubbish. Probably my favorite tree in the whole game has got to be these purple jacaranda trees. Love them. Still learning how to use them in our design, but it'll just get better with time. We'll just figure it out. Let's have a look at the old town that we had cobbled together earlier on. Oh yeah, here we go with another few custom assets, parking lots. Very good to use, especially with the new DLC bringing in bikes, or the new updates to the game having bikes. A lot of the roadside parking is now not available, so having these massive parking lots add something where everyone can park. This was the first settlement area, which I think is really cool. Nicely densely packed. Platter is a great mod to have because it just allows you to really pack in and align your buildings. Look at that. That'd be a pretty cool street to live on. It's interesting with the new updates to the game, any residential plots past this line are going to be affected by pollution from our industrial area per se. So this is as far as we go in that direction. And I guess also living in a city, I don't know how close you would like to live to an industrial area. Not fun at all. Here we go. So this is our European Old Town, and as you can see, a lot of people doing their walks. This is another custom asset that I think is really, really useful, the pedestrian stairwell, because it just allows you, with limited amount of space, to actually set up intricate walkways that, oh man, they're so useful. I'll give you guys a look as to how useful these actually are. What they don't tell you about the mod you have to read about is the level you have to set is about negative 6.5 meters, and that's just where it works at. So there we are, 6.25, and you just link that up, link those two up, and it is just useful. It works so well. Yeah, we've got to fix this out a little bit, so give it more of a realistic look. Just get a quay there. I know, I just really don't want to have that house. Oh, what are these guys up to? Glitch. Oh my goodness. What path are they on? Oh wow. What is going on? That is a unique issue to have. Oh, I don't even see, like, it doesn't seem like there's any pathfinding issues. No paths. So, as you can probably tell, the game itself is still fraught with many a glitch. I do wonder if that's got something to do with the better pathfinding mod that I do have. I will have to check that out in a second. Let's just finish this off. Well, that might be the end of that. It seems like no more individuals are walking around along that line. So, welcome to the glitchy world of City Skylines. That's something for them to look at and hopefully get a fix. But it looks like it must have had something to do with the weird path I had running here, because now everything is fine. And yeah, so the whole idea over here was to create an old town, and an old town that would be lively and have loads of people walking around, based off like a European village. City, and there's a lot of dogs. There's always a lot of dogs in City Skylines, but that's why we love it. So these buildings, which are actually EU mixed old town style apartment building, I think they're really cool, especially how you get if you place them on a corner of a road, you get it actually working around. Okay, right, let's actually do some problem solving. If you look around, you can actually see now that I have had my crematorium actually up and running for a bit now, we've actually dealt with some of that death care situation that we had. So when I last left off this build, I was trying to expand on this little island that I had put up using the television production studio, and then I was thinking, oh, maybe this is going to be where all our high density housing is. It does feel like a very odd build, because you wouldn't expect these massive buildings right near a television studio. So I think I'm going to move this area, but I do like this free bit here that I was initially going to use to expand this cemetery from the Netherlands pack. But I do think it would be a very mid section overlooking the water as well. It might be a great place to have it, and we'll just connect that with a road. See, now that we've gone into Plateau, this is interesting how this mod works. It's probably one of the more powerful mods that exist, just because it allows you to place items or plots very, very skillfully. I don't like that size because I want 2 equal plot sizes, so I think I'll go for the 4x4. Something that I try and include in all my builds is just some free space, and it's just not enough. But if that's the case, we can always go from here. And I usually try and turn off all my snapping. I'll just pause that for a second, and I'll show you why, because we will move the path over to here and turn off that snapping. Sometimes turning off the snapping just makes it a lot easier. I don't like having the crosswalks, zebra crossings pop up, because they just they slow down traffic. So I'd rather my citizens just walk around and under the bridge, just as I would in real life if I don't have to cross the road. That is a path I would much rather. We're going to get lucky on this side to be able to actually fit Not so much. So that I do know that a lot of the YouTube channels that have us playing City Skyline tend to be a little bit more fast-paced, and that is probably something we will build up to. But at the moment, I'm just loving using this new platter mod that allows me to paste my cities in an intricate manner. So I'm actually loving the idea of being able to control the exact position of the houses. It also makes it feel a bit more realistic, you know, like when you're building a house, it's done a house at a time, unless of course it's a housing, it's a whole housing estate that's being done by a massive contractor. So we did say that we're going to add trees here and probably a park. I do wish we had more parks. That's what's given. And I know you can buy the DLCs that give you all these interesting parks, but I love when that works. It's just the right space. And as you can probably tell, I'm not like into measuring all the distances and everything, but it is pretty good when everything works. The jacaranda trees, just love the color. And why it was so unique about these jacaranda trees is I didn't just plop the grown tree. I actually did the tiny trees like this and waited for them to grow. So it was almost like a little surprise for me. And they bloomed. As you can see here is I'm alternating the pattern to give a more natural. And who wouldn't love that? Who wouldn't love having a little nursery of trees right outside the house, in the backyard, give you something to look out onto. Okay, and we're back after there was a slight glitch in the game that led to a crash. I actually decided to get rid of some of the mods that were coming up as cautionary. So we'll try this again. We were about to install a park. So if people wanted to, they could walk directly into the park with that invisible pedestrian line from that offshoot. And now a little extension to the neighborhood that has taken up some space is now full. What we're going to do now is a bit of landscaping to add some life to this area. As usual, we're going to start with some trees. I kind of like the red pop of the Japanese maple, which will be turning in not spring, but towards fall. We're pretty much done with that little enclave there, and it's all filled in and the houses are up. So you can see it looks like a little suburban back street. With a gap like this, you have a couple of options. If it's large enough, you can probably fit one of the tiny parks There we go. So what I would like to do is actually fit one. This is all part of giving your... Oh, there's a swing set. And now we've got a lovely little enclave sort of filled out at the edge of the suburban area. Another thing that I do forget to do a lot of the time is actually divide up areas into districts. So the earlier you do this in the game, the easier it is to continuously do it. And what I love to do is take out a district defined by the buildings involved. So, for example, we could call this the southwest district of the city, and it's going to be residential. And then south central can actually be industrial and at the same time services. And then to the north of the city, this could probably all come under the same area up until our farming industry. We can call that Central City, and then up here we've got the farming district. And of course, to finish off, we've got the aisles. You can see it's got a high crime risk in central Midtown, which tells me I need to install a police station. But as we've crossed over into the $1,400,000, almost $1.5 million, now we can look at installing incineratory power station. And where we're going to do that is actually up here in the industrial area. What this will also allow us to do is actually empty this. And what we'll see now, or what we should start to see, is garbage vehicles heading from here all the way to the power plant, giving us a boost in power that we are already exporting, but also allowing us to deal with our trash issues. Look at all the garbage trucks coming out, trying to head out to clean up the city. It might be time to expand this road, just because now we're going to have a lot of traffic going around, so let's give that a go. I do choose using roundabouts in my game just because it's something I am personally used to, coming from a country that uses these. So it's just how I know roads work. But a lot of people enjoy the idea of using an intersection. Of course, as traffic tends to pick up, we will extend this to a 4-lane road, but at the moment, it seems to be doing fine. Let's get some more vehicles, and we should see the stored garbage start to drop slightly and help us generate some power from the incineration plant, which we are going to connect up to our grid. So we've got a few upgrades going. We've been able to set up our new incineration plant, and it's safe to say that now we can do a little bit of a fast forward and see how the city picks up. As usual, we'll always get traffic issues. I know that this junction, for example, the T junction, is extremely busy, and it looks like how I would want to solve this, which is a more unique way I will solve these problems, is I'll send off an offshoot road above, so that the vehicles that actually just want to go straight through the junction can. Now this is something I can do on a speed up, even when time is sped up, so let's just give it a go. It's going to be as simple as creating a slip-off road. It's just a reminder that not everything needs to be so drab. And with the mods we have these days, we can do interesting stuff. Over time, will ease the traffic that we're seeing here. And everyone who comes onto this road will most likely just be on this road because they need to turn left. As you can tell now that we're actually getting less traffic because all the vehicles that are in line have already gone past our turn-off point, which is now something we can edit to look more realistic. There's a potential to over-engineer in City Skylines, and I was thinking another over-engineering thing that happens is you think, okay, I'll just create a slip road and send these guys directly on, which is not a bad idea. But with the level of traffic we're facing at the moment, it's not the worst. Yep, look at that. The stored garbage has really decreased, and you can see it because these are the garbage collection from the waste collection center and from the incineration plant. So this waste collection center over here also delivers garbage to the landfill. So I actually want to keep the landfill operating throughout the whole time as a city, because it is a great point to collect garbage from, and it allows us to power our incineration plant as well. So it's part of the process. One design flaw I will say with the bus stations and City Skylines is this walkway where people have to walk past where the buses arrive, and that just creates a crazy traffic, because no matter where you put your path, in order for them to get to the entrance, which is on the inside, they will have to cross either the buses exiting or the buses coming in. So just a unique design flow. It might be time to go into our bus routes and have a look at the city bus. And because I've got 5 bus lines, I've actually got the northwest city line. And what I will do is I'm going to install a bus stop, bus shelter. And what this is going to do is give people an opportunity to hop on the bus there. But that's not all I'm going to do, as I've seen that the bike traffic is quite heavy. I'm going to install some bike parking. But yeah, look at that. We're pretty much down to on all aspects of needs that were needed. I do know that the next step is obviously to get a hospital going, but that's not quite in our budget just yet. I know I have to do a hospital and I need to do a college at some point. I could probably do the college now, because you can see our capacity for college is quite low, and yes, we are able to have a college, but the idea or the thought process is, where will the college go? I do like the idea of the college sitting on this island, and we're just going to do that. But what that's going to allow us to do as well is remind me that we need a transport line to connect us to this island. Now, you would think that the best way to do it would be to stick with the idea of a bus line, because we already have a working bus line, bus system in the city, and that would be my first choice. But I would love the idea of a tram line. But as you see, we're a bit low on funds, so the first thing we'll put down is the bus line, and then we will eventually grab a tram. Perfect. So now we should be seeing a lot of people stopping at the bus stop to catch the bus, because that's, oh yeah, and there we go, First Lady. Crazy details on the Sims in this game. But yeah, now got the First Lady sat down there, and a lot of people in general. The sports bar seems very busy. And that's good, because this whole area needs to be populated with high density business. But let's just see. Oh, there we go. Earlier on, it wasn't letting me plop them in, because I don't think there was much need for high density, but there we go. We've got 2 going. You see, I'm starting to see that there's also quite a few bikes. And what that tells me is a couple of things. I've got a bus stop. I'm thinking of adding a few parking spaces and then also bike parking. And what that will do, we'll do the bike parking first. It will allow people to actually park their bike and grab the bus. And I want to do the same thing with their vehicles, because I do think the signs of a great city is the ability to traverse the whole city without a car. So I think for our first episode, this has gone pretty well. The idea, of course, has been to just keep adding on to the city and seeing where things go. So I do think I enjoy playing this game, and I hope you've enjoyed spending this hour or so tuning in to my build. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. I will try and get you more content on the game and see what everyone's vibing with. We're just trying to be chill and enjoy playing this game, and I hope everyone enjoys being a part of this process.